Yo, what's up? Mango back with another podcast. We have our co-host Geummy on today.
Hello, GM.
Yo, GM. And we have a special guest today. It's Robert Graham, the co-founder of AfterParty. How you doing today?
What's up, guys? I'm doing really well. Thanks for having me.
Dude, I'm excited we have a lot of topics to go over. You know, dude, I'm excited to find out and pick your brain on some things. And because I've just seen what you've been doing the last year in AfterParty, and it's been insane. But before we get into AfterParty, I just want to find out about you. How you started, how you got into Web3, the companies you were in, because I know you were in Vamped, I know you were in the other companies. So tell me a little bit about how you got involved in the business world.
Yeah, I had kind of an interesting journey. My first job out here in LA was at Paradigm Talent Agency. I actually spent most of my childhood in Arizona and knew I wanted to work in the entertainment, kind of industry and work with people in the entertainment industry. So I moved out here, didn't know anybody, have kind of that.
When did you move out here?
I moved out here like 11 years ago.
11 years ago?
Yeah, so I've been out here for a while. Didn't know anybody, kind of that, same story. I was sleeping on friends' couches trying to figure it out.
Okay, I love that.
I ended up getting lucky and getting a job at Paradigm, which was,
So Paradigm was your first company that you worked with?
I worked at, yeah. It was one of the big four agencies at the time. So it was like WME, UTA, CAA, and Paradigm.
Yeah, okay.
And so
how did they treat you at Paradigm? Because I heard some stories about WME and how there was like everyone had an assistant and everyone was working overtime, getting no break at all.
Bro, it was crazy.
Really?
Everything that you hear and see is true. I mean, like I was in there working and I started off as an assistant and I was sitting in this room that they called a pod with a bunch of the other assistants. And dude, the guy that I worked for would come in, jump on my desk, throw all the papers everywhere, start dancing, take my drink and run out.
Wow.
Yell at all of us, make fun of us, and do that like 10 times a day because he was bored. I mean, like the assistants get treated, and this was kind of a different time because it was 11 years ago. That stuff probably wouldn't fly. Now. But back then, they could do whatever they want. I mean, they would come in and just like make fun of you, tell you to do stuff, run errands for them. It's crazy.
So it was like back in the old days of like school, they could just like whip out a ruler and say, bah.
Yeah, it was like getting hazed 24/7. And we worked from 8 o'clock in the morning till 8 o'clock at night. So we were there all day long.
So you were like mentally drained 24/7.
Mentally drained, yeah. I mean, it was a crazy time, but it was also very cool because a lot of the people that work at the agencies or start off at agencies are all relatively smart people that end up breaking away and going and being managers or starting production companies or doing all this cool stuff. So you meet a ton of really, really great people while in that craziness of being an assistant or trying to work your way up as an agent.
That's abusive.
It was.
You were being abused at a company.
Everybody was.
So after that, where you were like, you know what, screw this, like I can't do this anymore, and then you just was like, let me like try and transition in my life and go to a new company?
Yeah, so at that time, it was really the emergence of social. So when I was there in the first couple of years, it was really when you started to see Twitter take off and you started to see celebrities like Kim Kardashian do sponsored posts on Twitter. It was really the first time that any of that stuff started happening. And in my head, I was like, wow, this is really special. This is really interesting. These individuals are amassing these huge followings on social media and they're not doing anything with it. They're not like monetizing it. They're just kind of building up this following. And in my head, I was thinking this is a golden opportunity. So I left Paradigm and I started the Vamped agency. Yeah. And that was one of the earliest, if not, the first, one of the very early agencies that started managing digital talent and working with a lot of the brands.
Linz was a part of that.
Yeah, Linz. Yeah, Linz was a part of that. We met very early on. We were both, she was managing some talent at the time and I was building this company called Brander, which was essentially, matching brands with influencers, and we decided to pair up.
You were doing two companies at once?
No, I had Brander and she had Vamped.
Oh,
and
okay.
Then we met and we were like, let's just combine forces.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, nice. So when you got in with Vamped, how did that go? How was your transition with that?
It was great, man. We started doing some really unique stuff. We started taking, people that were relevant on social and working with tourism boards and hotel groups. So we got to go travel and do a lot of exciting things. But also in the early days, it was really interesting because I was approaching a lot of the brands in the space and I'm like, hey, you should work with our talent.
Yeah.
And at the time they were like, what are you talking about? Why would I do that? And I'm like, this guy has 500,000 followers on Vine.
So this is when Vine was around, and brand deals wasn't really a thing.
Wasn't a thing at all.
Wow.
Yeah. So
who was the first person that you actually worked with and brought a brand deal to?
We worked with Helen Owen. She was one of the first. She was kind of a travel and lifestyle influencer, and she was probably one of the first, influencers that we were bringing brand deals to. And then, we managed Hannah Stocking for a little while and a bunch of others that were in the space early on Vine. But it was funny, man. I would go out to brands and say, like, you should work with this individual. And they had no idea what I was talking about. And I'm like, give us $250 and we'll do something. Yeah. And they did. And
so what was it when you first did a brand deal? How effective was it?
It was the first one we did was this Disney application. It wasn't Disney specifically, but it was like a very young audience. And they were trying to, build like younger generation content for like 10-year-olds to watch. And we did this brand post with, I think it was Hayes Greer at the time. And
did you have any strategies on how you wanted it? How did you want it promoted and everything?
Yeah, we had him in the content. He was talking about using the application, and then I think showing what the app did in this video, in this short video, or it might have even been an image at the time. And he launched it, and the brand paid us like $250 to start, and we were like, whatever, we'll just get this out the door and see what happens. They immediately called us back the next day, and they were like, oh my God, we had like 5,000 downloads. Let's do that again and again and again and again. And it was the first kind of aha moment where we were like, wow, this is really powerful. This could really work for a lot of people. If we're able to match like the correct influencer with the correct brand.
Yeah, and be able to charge more than $250, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was a crazy time too, because we were reaching out to these people, and honestly, like, some of the biggest stars in the world now were doing this stuff for free early days. They were like, sure, give me a shirt and I'll do it.
I wasn't even on Vine. I didn't even go, I never even went on Vine. I wasn't part of that era.
Yeah.
I was part of live.me.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I started on.
That's crazy.
So you became part of Vamped, and then you started to do brand deals with individuals, and then you were showing that brands, listen, these influencers have millions, hundreds of thousands of followers, and they could bring social media, presence, marketing to your companies. And so you started to take advantage of that. And then how did it trickle up to you just like growing massively with the company?
Yeah, I mean, it was really about awareness, right? Like, you wanted to bring as much awareness as possible to whoever it was you were working with. And we were also very strategic in helping the individuals that we managed grow their personal brands. So we would match them up with other individuals, do a lot of joint collaborations, and try to, build their presence online. So there was a couple effective strategies, right? It's like the more attention that you're able to garner, the more people that are seeing your content, the more effective it's going to be for you as a whole moving forward, and for the brands as well.
Yeah. Were you thinking that these influencers, they didn't know how to build their brand? Because a lot of influencers, they know how to create the content, but they fail the brand development.
Yeah, I mean, I think influencers are really creative individuals, right? Like, they figure out how to build their personal brands, but when it came to monetizing that, when it came to actually negotiating on their own behalf or figuring out which brands were best for them.
We'll get to that later on monetization, because it's huge.
I think that a lot of them struggled with that. So that's where, a strategic manager that's looking out for your best interests is really helpful. And some of them don't need it, but once you get to a certain level, there's so many inbound, brand offers and deals that you just don't have time.
Exactly. So did it start just getting like crazy?
It started to get crazy. Really? Yeah, I mean, we had like 50 people, I think, that we were managing at one point, and it was just
what was the biggest brand deal that you guys brought in?
Oh man, we had some pretty big
6 figures.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, much bigger than that. Like, we were like low to mid 6 figures with a couple of the larger brand deals that we did for individuals.
Okay, cool. And then, so after all this happened at Vamped, you moved forward with your career and went to...
Yeah, I mean, so what happened is I got really, really deep into, kind of the blockchain crypto space. And
this is when you got into Web3.
Yeah, so I was at Vamped at this point, and in 2016, I read the Bitcoin and Ethereum white paper, like a lot of other people. My friend at Paradigm actually brought it to me. He's like, yo, check out Ethereum.
Yeah.
You got to look into this.
What was your first thoughts on Web3?
I was just confused, man. I didn't really understand, what was going on. But
were you kind of held back, or were you like, you know what, I'm kind of like hella interested in this. Let me like dive into it.
I think at first I was a little confused. I didn't really realize, I didn't really know if it was real or not. I was still trying to figure it out. I'm like, is this a real thing?
Gummy, did you think that?
No, not at all. Actually, I was like, this is the future. I mean, people used to use salt as currency.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple different ways of looking at it. When I heard about Bitcoin, that was the first, thing that I heard about in like 2013, 2014. My little brother started talking to me about it. And without actually like reading the white paper or looking deeper into it, I was just like, what are you talking about? This is crazy. I didn't really understand what he was talking about. But then when I read the white papers, it was like an aha moment. I was like, wow, this is the future. Like, this is everything. Yeah. And that's why.
How did you even know? So your friend from the other company told you about what a white paper was.
He told me about Ethereum.
He told you about Ethereum. Yeah. So then you went down a rabbit hole and then found out what a white paper was. Yeah. Because not a lot of people in 2017 knew, let me go check the white paper.
Yeah.
Because it was... I've only been in this for like a year and a half, and I just found out what the white paper was when I was first getting in. I had no idea white paper.
Yeah, no, I didn't know anything about it either when my brother started, to first talk to me about Bitcoin, and then I found out, and I started reading, and I started doing more research, and I started really getting into it. And
what was that turning point for you? Like, what about Bitcoin or Ethereum were you like, this is it?
I thought that the ledger of transactions and just having like a verifiable proof of whatever it is that you want to do on the blockchain made a ton of sense to me for a lot of different applications, right? For social applications, for DeFi, for sending, payments wherever you want to in the world, cross-border to friends or family. That made a lot of sense to me. And Bitcoin was always very interesting to me because it was really trying to solve one fundamental problem. So I thought Ethereum was really interesting, for transactional purposes, for DeFi purposes, and for social purposes. And then I thought Bitcoin was very interesting, just, for the fundamental problem around money that it's trying to solve for. So,
what are some problems of like the regular currency that we're talking about?
Well, I think there's a lot, right? Like, we're hearing about it every single day. There's an infinite supply. You can print as much as you want. We're dealing with inflation at the current moment. Bitcoin's the hardest money that's ever existed, right? Like, there's only a limited supply. There's a lot of really interesting things about hard money. I don't know if you've read, any of the books, but
yeah, I saw your tweet where you wrote Bitcoin is the hardest money the world has ever seen, and you talked about hard money thesis.
I don't know anything about that. Can you elaborate on it?
Yeah, the hard money thesis. it's essentially saying that there's a limited amount of Bitcoin, right? And you can only have so much of it, right? So when you have dollars, when you have these different currencies that are currently collapsing, that we're seeing all over the world, the dollar's getting stronger right now, but the pound's collapsing. Yeah. There's just an infinite supply. Like, you can print as much as you want, and it's controlled by, the government agencies. They're saying, we're going to print more. We're gonna, there's going to be an extreme amount of inflation, and then we're going to raise interest rates, and we're going to go into a deep recession, and this plays out over and over and over again. With Bitcoin, none of that stuff is possible, right? Like, there's a limited supply of it. There's only so much that anybody could ever have. It's all on the blockchain. It's all verified. It's all documented. You have the 4-year halvings where, miners are actually doing the proof of work to mine the Bitcoin and distribute it, and that halves every 4 years. So
for everyone listening, what is proof of work? Give them a brief rundown. Just brief rundown of what proof of work is.
It's like, I don't want to get too technical, but it's essentially a bunch of computers or machines around the world that are solving math
cryptography.
Math problems essentially, and the person that solves the math problem gets the allocation of that Bitcoin. So there's all these different computers, all these different things trying to solve for this math problem, and once one of them does, they get a reward, which is the Bitcoin.
Yeah, and what's your thoughts on proof of stake?
Proof of stake's interesting.
Which one do you prefer?
I think proof of work is probably the one I prefer. I know there's a lot of energy, talk right now about how it's really bad for the environment, but I just like the decentralized,
100%.
Proof of work is fully decentralized. I think when you shift over to proof of stake, there's arguments on both sides. It's better for the environment. I just think, the people that are holding a ton of Ethereum or a ton of whatever token it is that are staking it, have a lot of 100%. Power, and there's a lot of there's some issues there.
Yeah. So you went down this huge rabbit hole of crypto NFTs. it was crypto, right? Yeah, it was crypto first.
Yeah, not NFTs.
And then not NFTs.
Yeah.
So when was that transition into NFTs?
NFTs was actually, relatively recent. I would say maybe 2 years ago.
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2.5 years ago.
That's when the hype started.
Yeah, it was right before the hype.
Yeah, right before the hype.
Yeah, Danny Seed Phrase is a good friend of mine, and I've been watching and seeing kind of what he was doing.
Yeah, he just sold his CryptoPunk for $4.4 million.
Well, yeah,
that was insane.
He sold the Ape Punk for $4.4 million, and then I think the next day he sold a Zombie Punk for like $1.4 million. Yeah, so he's doing okay.
Yeah, he's doing good. So when did you get into actually, so you were in cryptos 2017, and it took you all the way from 2020 to even know what NFTs was, or did you know about NFTs?
I knew what they were, but I hadn't
had no curious to find out what NFTs actually were.
I hadn't really taken a deep dive in or spent a ton of time in kind of the NFT
Did anyone
world.
ever send, when CryptoKitties came out, did anyone ever send you like a link or whatever, yo, check this out?
Yeah, I mean, I saw all that stuff.
Yeah, and you just like saw and was like,
I was like,
all right.
Yeah, sure.
Do you regret not getting into it?
Not really. I mean, I think kind of everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. I was very interested in decentralized social protocols, right? Like DISO is one that I talk about all the time. I think
before we get into that, let's discuss on like the transitions into NFTs, and
that's how this happened. Yeah.
Oh, really?
So I was in the decentralized social protocols, and I was really deep.
Oh, so you've been in this for a long time.
Yeah. And then that's how I met the co-founders at AfterParty, and they were all very deep on, NFTs and that whole side of things. Yeah. So I started learning more about it and started understanding more, and that's really when I started getting deep into NFTs and social tokens.
I legit did not find out about decentralized protocols until that dinner 2 days ago. Yeah. And I was like, what is this? For everyone that doesn't know, it's like decentralized social media.
Correct.
And how long has this been around?
I invested in that one in like March of last year. But it's been around for around 2 years, I would say.
Wow, that's crazy. So then fast forward into 2020, you got into NFTs, and that's where you just like sparked. And I want to find out how you got involved in AfterParty and became, a co-founder and got with the team, met with the team, built these relationships, and just built this huge thing that now is that everybody knows about.
Yeah, and you're like the face of AfterParty. I mean, that's what I thought.
You are the face of AfterParty.
I'm out there a little bit. Yeah. Definitely doing some things.
If anyone says AfterParty, who are they gonna think of?
Robert. Yeah. It's very true.
There's a great team over there. I'm probably the most public figure, I guess, on the AfterParty team, but there's much smarter people than me behind the scenes.
I was doing who's the owner, for the person that was at the dinner,
David Fields.
He went to Harvard.
He went to Harvard. He's brilliant. He did
genius.
I mean, he's a really smart guy. All of them are. Like David ran M&A and strategy at Disney, so he was one of the main guys that acquired Pixar, and he went off and worked with Michael Eisner, who was the CEO of Disney, and ran all investment strategies.
So tell me how you built these relationships.
So he was another guy that invested in DISO early on.
Really?
Yeah. So we all went to dinner because we were early investors in the social protocol. And David was building something at the time called Soin, which was like a live streaming service for artists. Yeah. Which ended up turning an AfterParty.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
So AfterParty was called Soin.
Soin, yeah.
And then it rebranded into AfterParty.
Yeah, we met.
Way better branding.
Yeah, Soin.
We were actually talking about this morning. The first name was pretty bad.
Yeah.
That was Soin.
Yeah, can you imagine?
Let's go to Soin tonight.
Soin, yeah.
So then. Okay, Soin transitioned, rebranded because you met the team because you got involved in DISO, and then now you were like AfterParty. But how did you get onboarded on the team? Why were they interested in you? There's so many people that might have been doing the same exact thing. Why you?
Yeah, I mean, David comes from a much different background than I do. I come from a very talent-driven background, managing talent, working with talent for the last decade. You know, him and Eitan actually founded Applied Semantics, which was acquired by Google and turned into Google AdSense, which is another co-founder, really smart. But I met them, and they just had very different backgrounds than me. And I kind of pitched, I was like, let's do something around the creator economy, right?
Yeah.
Like the creators are all looking for different monetization tools. They're all looking for different ways to.
And did they know any knowledge on that?
No.
Okay, so that's where you came in.
That's where
I
I
brought the value in that.
Correct. Yeah, that's where I kind of came in, and my expertise was there. And you know, to David's credit, he was like, "I love it. Let's kind of go in that direction."
Yeah.
So, you know, we sat around and had some ideas, and I told him, I was like, "Why don't we kind of create a central hub where these creators can come and they can learn about the space, and we can educate them." And I have a lot of relationships. They trust me. I can bring them in, and we can start talking to them about what we're building.
Yep.
And he was like, "Great, let's do it." So we popped up that house in the Hollywood Hills, and we set up 20 screens or whatever.
How long did that take though? Because you guys started it, but how it didn't just happen just like bam.
It took like a couple months.
Was there any struggles of creating AfterParty, like the technology behind it, the NFT part, like everything that went on with AfterParty and the creation? What was the biggest difficulties?
I mean, it's wild, man. It's a startup, right? So like, I think anybody that has a startup, and if they tell you otherwise, I think they're lying. Like, it's difficult the whole time. We're figuring.
Were you
stuff
guys
out every
working
day.
around the clock? Like
all day, every day.
All day, every day. Yeah.
Day.
How
We
do you
still are.
balance your like work life and your mental health and all that? Especially working in Web3, there's things happening all the time, and it's really hard to keep track of everything.
It's a really great question. I don't have much of a social life outside of my work at the current moment, but it's a good thing as well, because what I do for work is very, very social. So I'm seeing people, I'm meeting people, I'm doing dinners, like hanging out all the time. My personal life outside of that struggles a little bit. But I like it. I love what I do, and I have a good time.
Do you have like a routine, like a morning routine?
Yeah, I try. I wake up relatively early. If I can get in the gym and work out, that makes my day better.
He says, if I can.
Doesn't happen enough.
So have you sacrificed a lot for AfterParty and everything? Like, not just like your relationships, but your, mental health, you not going to the gym every single day because maybe you think, man, I got to get some work done, because I think it was sometimes similar. I'm like, you know what? And besides going to the gym, I could just do this right now and get this work done. But at the end of the day, like, it could be mentally draining in the long run.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I think everything's a choice, right? Like, you have a choice to either work out in the morning or work in the morning.
Yeah.
And sometimes you make the choice to work more than you work out.
Yeah.
But no, I feel great, man. Honestly, like, I love everything that we're doing. Every day I wake up more and more excited. I had calls this morning around some of the things that we're rolling out and some of the things that we're going to be doing in this upcoming year, and it's just like every day gets better. So
amazing.
For me, it's what I love to do, and I'm having an incredible time doing it. Our team's insane. Like, they're all super cool.
Yeah.
We just made another like incredible hire today, actually. So I'm really excited about it. Work-life balance is important. Like, you don't want to burn out. I know we were talking the other night, and you were saying like you felt a little burnt out on some stuff.
I was really, really burnt.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you have to take breaks, right?
Of course.
Like, you have to figure out your work-life balance. Otherwise, it's not going to sustain. But yeah, at the moment, man, I love everything we're doing and I'm really excited about it.
Back to the difficulties. What was the biggest difficulty you guys had to overcome? Like, was there like a technology difficulty, like figuring out the structure of the company?
The structure of the company, no, but I mean, yeah, like the technology side, we were just talking about this. Onboarding in Web3 is really difficult.
Yeah.
Like, it's really, really, really hard to get people that don't understand Web3 or don't understand the technology as a whole or the blockchain or have no idea. These all sound like very foreign words to them. To then go to a site, download MetaMask, buy crypto on Coinbase, wait 5 days to transfer that crypto over to your MetaMask, then go buy an NFT that's down 99%. It's like all this stuff's nuts. So it's like, we're figuring out, and I think we're doing a pretty good job at making the onboarding very, very seamless, really easy for the masses. And I think whoever does that effectively is going to win. As long as they have a good product.
Are you working on any products that help with onboarding?
Yeah, I mean, we've been thinking really deeply about onboarding, right? Like, I know you've seen kind of what we've done from a social standpoint, getting a lot of eyeballs on us, but the whole idea is to get all these people that see what we do to use our product and services. So we've created, in my opinion, the easiest onboarding in Web3, where you literally just go to afterparty.com, and this will all roll out in the next couple of weeks. Name, phone number, email, and what happens then once you sign up is we create a custodial wallet on our back end. You don't even know it, but we create a custodial wallet on our back end. We drop the NFT or digital asset or whatever you want to call it in your wallet. And that's your login. Like that's your page, right? Like you can go back and you can see all the NFTs, digital assets that you've collected.
What's the difference between a non-custodial and a custodial?
What's the difference between a non-custodial
wallet and a custodial wallet?
Well, the custodial wallet is like an individual wallet that we're actually creating and holding for you. A non-custodial wallet is kind of an open wallet that,
right.
Yeah.
And you can log in using different applications, and it's actually not decentralized.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah. Our custodial wallet is AfterParty's wallet, so we actually create a wallet on AfterParty.com, and that's our specific wallet. So yeah, we think that is the easiest way for people to onboard and kind of look at their assets and do it the most.
And you guys, and when you guys were becoming AfterParty, did you guys have this idea of being a members club, like you hold this NFT and then you're going to be able to come to our events and festivals, because you have the utopian, and then you have you have the other. What's the other?
We have the Utopians are just a membership.
Utopians, and then the other one. What's the other NFT?
The Guardians. The Guardian. We're the other NFT. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're not a thing anymore. Right?
We were using that as a ticketing mechanism for some of the stuff that we're doing, but we're kind of figuring out.
Okay, so you guys aren't using really. You put that on the back end right now. Okay, so when you thought of the NFT collection, because it's like the process of, you can't just go on OpenSea and buy one of these Utopians, and right? Because unless you sell it,
you technically can. So the Utopians are our membership NFTs. They give you artist level access to all things that we do. It's a curated process, so we actually interview and go through the process with everybody that's buying one of these, and or we've gifted some of them to the community members that are influential and that have been helping us along the way. But you can relist them on OpenSea if you want to.
Because I went to the OpenSea site and I went to go see what was for sale. There was like 3.
Yeah, there's not many.
Only,
and there hasn't been one NFT that we've gifted to a creator sold, which is pretty cool. I mean, really? I think that shows that we're executing on what we said we're going to do, and we've created a ton of value for people over the last year.
Absolutely. Like some of the AfterParty IRL events are so incredible. I mean, I went to the one in Vegas. It was amazing. Yeah,
that was the biggest NFT gated music festival in history. It was 6,500 people. So that was fun.
And you had, tell everyone who you had performed there.
Yeah, that was a wild lineup. We had the Chainsmokers, Kid Laroi. Man, I can't even remember who was there anymore. We had Sophie Tucker. We had a lot of people in our community perform, which was really cool.
Can you explain to us what token gated means?
Yeah, token gated. So you essentially need to own an NFT or a digital asset in some capacity. And again, it's a ledger, right? Like it's verified that you own this thing on the blockchain. And once it's verified that you own it, you get access. So it's essentially token gated. Just means you own something to get into somewhere.
And
what is the process of getting into an AfterParty like?
Yeah.
Like the event.
One of our events.
Yeah. Do you pull up your NFT at the door? What is the process?
Yeah. So we have a pretty easy process, right? Like everybody that owns one of our NFTs gets a text message and or email prior to the event. And then they just confirm that they're coming, and then they get a confirmation sent to them via email. So they can show that at the door. They could show their NFT at the door, if it's in their MetaMask wallet. So there's a couple different ways. We don't have we don't have 10,000 people in our community, so it's a little easier to kind of navigate.
Yeah.
But yeah, we set up a bunch of processes in place to give people confirmations through ownership of the NFT.
Yeah, because a lot of times I remember for the doodle activation, a lot of people just screenshotted a doodle off of OpenSea and to get in. But something like your Bored Ape Fest, you have this QR code that changes every few seconds.
Like VCon.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have the same thing. We actually built out a really, really powerful ticketing mechanism. So when you have an NFT, you can go claim your actual ticket to that event, and it comes up as a QR code. If that QR code's sent or transferred, it invalidates, and then you need to go claim a new QR code. Once it's scanned in, it invalidates. So we built some really cool technology around ticketing for our events specifically and for other people to use.
Awesome. Yeah. That's so cool.
And so, what's the largest utility, like all the utilities behind holding one of these NFTs? Mm-hmm. Because even at the events, it's being gifted to creators, celebrities, artists, and you've had some pretty huge people come to AfterParty.
Yeah, we've had some really, really big people. You want to hear a crazy story? The first person in the door ever was Sia. The story?
Really?
Yeah, she is
the first person ever to AfterParty with Sia.
She's the first person to mint a Utopian and was legitimately, I'm not kidding, the first person to walk in our house.
Wow. That's so
she's
dope.
Like 100 Grammys.
I love her collection.
Yeah,
did you know her?
I didn't know her at the time.
How did she get there?
So Aton, one of the co-founders, I think knew her manager and was like, hey, we're doing this thing tonight. Our first night, we had Sia, we had Paul Klein, the lead singer of Laney, we had David Dobrik, Jaden Hossler, Nadia from Pussy Riot.
Yeah.
The first night was nuts.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what allowed us to
see,
move
like,
forward.
Whoa, this is our vision is actually coming to life, and this has potential to just go to the moon.
Yeah, we had all these great people come in, and they were all so excited and interested about the space. And in my head, I'm like, wow, this is interesting. Like, to get all of these people in the same room on the same night and interested about what we're doing as such a young company.
I bet you were like, thrown back and be like, damn, all this like hard work is like paying off, and we're creating this like cool ass community that's like very unique.
Yeah, and I also think timing's important, right?
Yeah.
Like, it was a very unique moment in time where everybody was really excited about NFTs, and there was this crazy bull market. So we were doing something a little different, and people were excited about it. So we actually, I think, timed it really well.
So what is the strategy behind like the pricing and the supply of your Utopians?
Yeah, so ours are a little more expensive, and the reason for that is because we spend a lot of money doing these things, right? Like, we've thrown 30 plus events this year. We threw a massive music festival in Vegas.
You guys probably have spent hundreds.
I mean, it's not cheap, right?
Yeah.
So like that's why the price of these Utopians are a little more expensive. But honestly, man, if you use these things, the value is there. Like, really, it really is.
Because it's more so like a private sale.
It is a private sale.
Say I come to you because I have a Utopian, but say I didn't, and I came to you, say, hey, I want to buy one of these. What is the process of having to buy one? Because I've seen on the website, AfterParty website, you can apply to get a Utopian and mint it and get it. And so, but like, is it you that's accepting people? Is it everyone on the team accepting someone that it's like, okay, they're a good fit or they're not a good fit? What makes someone a good fit in AfterParty?
Yeah, I mean, I think if it's, a friend of a friend, right? Like, if I'm like, yo, Chris is great, just he's in. Yeah. Obviously that's as easy as it gets. If it's somebody that we don't know, that's not, part of our team's, friends or part of the community, then there is an application process. And the reason for that is we want to curate a really great community. And you don't have to be famous. Like it's not like you have to be a famous person or anything like that, but we want people to come in that are going to be, positive influences on the community, ideally add some value in whatever it is that they do to other members of the community, and just have like a great overall vibe.
Has there been any envy?
Any envy?
Yeah, towards your company.
I'm sure, man. I mean, I think, I don't know. I'm sure there is.
Have you gone through anything with any other people in the space?
I mean, we see people pop up and try to, copy what we're doing or mimic what we're doing. And I think that just happens in general. If you're doing anything that's successful, people are going to try to mimic or copy it.
They say that if you're doing something right, you'd get like haters. So
yeah, I mean,
do you guys think you have a lot of haters?
I hope not. I hope we have more people that love us than hate us. But probably,
You're creating this. I mean, what you're doing is great, because when I first went to AfterParty, in my experience of like the first night, this is at the old house. I walked in and I was like, what is this? And I was like, what? Because I saw these like massive screens and with art on it, and I wasn't like fully in NFTs. I was still learning about crypto. Yeah. And so when I just like, I knew a ton of like, mutual friends there. I didn't know really what was going on. I just showed up, and then you guys would come out and with a microphone and say, here's this NFT. This is where you're being gifted. And it would be like King Batch and like and all these other people. being gifted one of these NFTs, and I'm like, what is going on? And it was just like a whole new world to me, and like a lot of people don't get to experience that type of like that like what I experienced, and a ton of other people that go to these events and like exclusive member like party like only clubs get to experience.
Yeah, there's definitely a membership component to it. In those early days, what I think is really interesting and honestly really exciting as we move forward is we legitimately either sold or gifted all of those people their first NFTs. So, you know, as we move forward 5 years from now, and every single person that we know has an NFT for a membership or for, you know, whatever it is, merch or whatever it might be, we were very early in gifted or sold NFTs to some of the biggest, you know, creators, you know, influencers, artists in the world, right? So I think when we look back in 5-10 years, it's going to be a really interesting and exciting moment in time where we can say, all of your first NFTs were from AfterParty.
Yeah.
And not only that, but we were able to bring them in and kind of educate them, right? Because they were very skeptical. Like, what is this? I don't understand.
Well, during the price of when you were first giving away, you know, the Utopians, they were worth like 3 ETH.
Yeah, they were around 3.5 ETH. And then, you know, they shot up a little bit during that bull run.
Why were they priced at that 3 ETH level?
Because of the value that we're giving back. I mean, we threw a, you know, like I said, a 6,500 person festival and 30 plus events. And for the Utopian holders, even if you were gifted, all of that's free.
Yeah.
And you get artist level access, you know, or VIP access or whatever you want to call it.
And
all
open
these
bar
things.
at the VIP section.
Yeah, there's open bar,
there.
there's food, there's all sorts of stuff. So I mean,
dope.
3.5 ETH, right? And we're all about value and adding value immediately, right? Like there has to be something associated with these things and not just speculation around a video game or, you know, some merch drop that's going to happen 3 years from now.
You are showing someone physically, this is what we have. This is our product.
Access, man. They're NFTs for access, and we have to deliver on the access points. Otherwise, it's just another speculative asset that you're buying in hopes that it's going to go up.
And do you got it?
Oh no, I just wanted to make a note that I love how in your events you incorporate Web3 artists. Like some of the installations that you had at your IRL events are just something that I've never seen before. You had so many different types of mediums where you projected the NFTs. There's different screens. I know Catalina also worked with you guys, and Nate Moeller. It was just such a beautiful activation. And I mean, people don't realize that's money right there. Yeah,
and those artists are incredibly talented. And one of the other things that we really wanted to do was highlight emerging artists, right? Like in this space specifically. I think NFTs, you know, have and will fundamentally change how artists, creators monetize, right? Like you sell these things and then you are building in a percentage in perpetuity as they transact over time, and that's never been available to artists. So I think a lot of artists' lives are going to change and or already have changed, and we really wanted to highlight, you know, some of the emerging artists in the space and showcase their work at our home, because we knew we had so many people coming in that could get a lot of eyeballs on it.
Can you explain the creator economy?
The creator as a whole? The creator economy, because you mentioned this in your Twitter. Yeah, I mean, I think the creator economy is something I'm incredibly passionate about. It's what I talk about all the time. And I mean, you've been in it since Vine. Right, I've been in it from the beginning. And what I think and what I see in Web3 and the tools that are being built, you know, we're building them and others, are tools that are going to allow creators to monetize more effectively. Let's get into the DISO. DISO is a social token protocol. So DISO is a decentralized social. Just monetization in general. Yeah, monetization in general. First at AfterParty, kind of what we're building is these tools for creators to monetize, you know, their super fan base. So we're building all of these really cool tool sets that we'll be rolling out. A lot of token gated experiences, a lot of digital collectibles that creators are going to be able to drop that people can buy and or get for free, and have these really interesting token gated experiences, and also show, right, this is the first time in history that you're able to show that you're an actual fan. Yeah. Like, I mean, there's so many artists in our community, from, you know, music artists to, you know, artists, you know, like traditional digital artists, whatever you want to call it, creators that have these huge fan bases, millions upon millions of people. and they legitimately cannot tell you who their actual fans are. Like,
really?
They don't know who their top fan is. They don't know if people have been to 5 of their shows, 1 of their shows, 10 of their shows. They don't know if people have collected 1 of their albums or 10 of their albums. They have no idea. None of that data is public. It's not accessible to them. So we think there's something really powerful in building out these fan bases and these super fan communities where artists across the board, creators across the board can actually know who their true fans are.
Wow.
And talk to them more efficiently, give them more opportunities, maybe drop them tickets to their upcoming show, maybe have a personalized experience with them.
So this is going to be your own platform?
Yeah, this is AfterParty.
Okay, so you guys are creating like a whole built out platform on all of this?
Yeah, correct. So, all the stuff that we do that the public sees, the events and the membership stuff is all for the membership community, but it's really a marketing engine, right? Like we get a lot of eyeballs on us and the idea is to allow those eyeballs to see what we're doing and then ideally get those individuals to participate in a lot of these things that the creators are going to be doing on afterparty.com, which is using these tools to connect with their audience, monetize more efficiently, drop really cool collectibles, give their audience a lot of things that they might not necessarily normally get from being a fan.
When do you think the rollout of that will be?
We're going to roll it out within the next, let's call it, 30 to 45 days.
Wow, that's soon.
We've been building it from day one. Like we just don't really talk about it.
Yeah,
but
that's some alpha right there.
Day one, yeah.
Yeah. I would think that you guys have way bigger future plans that you can't really disclose.
Yeah, I would love to come back and talk about more of the stuff that we're doing. We haven't rolled, a lot of the tools out yet, so I can't really get too deep into it. But I really do think they're going to be very exciting ways, for us that we're building, the tools that we're building for creators to use. And I know there's going to be a ton of other companies in the space that are building really great, tools for creators to use and monetize their fan base and or their art or whatever it might be. And I'm really excited about that because I think we're going to see a lot of creators, a lot of artists start to come up, and money's not everything, but I really do think there's going to be a ton of value exchange from creator to fan and fan to creator, where some of these people are going to, be incredibly wealthy off of what the blockchain allows.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what? That's crazy because I just see the future of like where you guys could go and its potential, and it's massive. And I've been supporting it since like the first house, and so like it's pretty cool to see like where your transition where the company has gone with just like it started with just a house, and then it went from another house, a bigger house with swimming mermaids.
Yeah.
And this, when I first walked into the second house and I went downstairs and then I saw a mermaid swimming in the pool. I'm like, what is going on? I was like, this is crazy right now.
We did that one time. Honestly, I'm not kidding you. We did it as a joke. We're like, this will be funny. Let's just do it. And so many people went downstairs and were filming it and tagging it. We did it every time.
Everybody was like, what the hell?
It was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was funny.
And so now, and then you threw a festival, and now your next festival is going to be soon, right?
Yeah, we're doing something over Halloween. So we're going to be doing a cool thing over Halloween. I can actually tell you this. We just did a partnership with Art of the Wild in Vegas.
Oh, wow.
And I just saw you had a partnership with Soho House.
Yeah, we're doing something with JC and Soho House on Monday, but we just did a partnership with Art of the Wild. Any Utopians get to come for free. So, there's that.
Yeah.
That's in Vegas. We're doing it in partnership with Framework and the Wynn Hotel. So that's in November, I believe, early November. But that's like a 4-day festival as well, where people are going to get access to that.
Sick.
What are some of the lineups?
I know Rufus is playing at that one.
Oh, he's good.
And then honestly, I don't know who else is playing, and I have to look. But Rufus is the big one on Friday night.
Are you trying to make this one bigger than the last one?
No, this one won't be bigger than the last one. This one will be, roughly the same size.
Okay. Yeah. So, I'm curious because you're very like business savvy. You have this drive every single day to like, work. Let's get to the next level and like be a community, work together as a team. Where do you think you see yourself going with AfterParty? Because you've transitioned so much in the industry from, companies to now just like at AfterParty and seeing this vision in the future. And so where do you think you see yourself going with the company?
Yeah, I think we're all very excited about where AfterParty is going, man. We want to change the world, right? Like we want to create some stuff for creators to use that's really going to impact and change their lives forever. So yeah, I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I'm not going anywhere. And all we're focused on is really improving the lives of creators and people, that are able to utilize our tools in an effective way to interact, engage, collect data around their fans, talk to their fans, make more money, do all sorts of crazy stuff.
And that's going to cost like way more money. Do you have any rollout on getting more investors on board?
We actually just closed another round. So that was closed around 2 weeks ago. We'll probably announce that. Thanks.
Yeah, congrats.
Appreciate that. It was exciting, man, because it's a down market, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a crazy market, and we raised at an up round. So we, our investors are really excited about what we're doing. We just closed that up. So we're going to be around for a while.
What can we expect from you personally? Like what would you see in the next 5 years from Robert?
I'm probably going to be doing, I guess stuff similar to what I'm doing now. I'm really again, just focused on making AfterParty.
Are you hands-on the tech side at all?
No, I'm not a technical guy.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, I'm very fortunate that my co-founders and the people that work in AfterParty are a lot smarter than I am.
Are you interested in technology though?
I am interested in it, but my whole thing is, my whole thing has been entertainment and tech, but tech from an investment standpoint and just kind of understanding that founders are savvy and smart and they have a good team and they're going to build something cool, but I'm not a builder. I don't build things.
Yeah. So what's something that an artist, an influencer can easily do to monetize himself right now into Web3?
You're on TikTok, you're on Instagram, you're on YouTube, right? And you're pumping out content all day, every day that you don't own once you upload it onto those platforms. And you're building it, you're attempting to build a large audience. So then you finally get to a certain point where you could go, look at me, I have 1 million followers, brand XYZ, pay me 10 grand to do a social promotion on this platform. And that's just, I don't personally believe that's the way that creators should be monetizing. And I think the blockchain and I think the tools that are being built right now are going to change that. We've seen it with artists, digital artists at the moment. You've seen Beeple and you've seen, Thank You X and Fuck Render and these guys drop collections and they've made a lot of money, right? And they're, as long as they continue to execute and as long as they continue to have an audience and a fan base that's excited about what they're doing, those things are going to trade. Those things are going to trade in perpetuity and they're going to keep making money in their sleep. Gary Vee's probably making $10 million a night when he goes to bed off friends. Yeah. And he's, he dropped that collection and to his credit, he's the GOAT.
Are you guys, and with the Utopians, are you guys, did you guys implement royalties in with your team?
Yeah, we take I think we take a 5% royalty. Don't quote me on that. I think it's 5 or 7.5% every time one of those trade.
I just think that's so cool with because with NFTs, it's because in the actual art world, you're not taking royalties every time that painting is sold, that statue is sold.
No, that's
and now it's time. Now the people who create something is getting credit and getting something out of it every time that's sold. I think that's so sick.
I go buy a Van Gogh right now. Not saying that I can. I go buy a Van Gogh right now, and I'm just buying that Van Gogh, and the person that's selling to me is making all the profit on that painting, right?
Of course.
Van Gogh's family or whoever, nothing, right? But now, when Beeple's artwork transacts forever in time, because it's on the blockchain, he's going to take a percentage of each one of those sales, which I think is really cool. And I think artists have been able to, to make money effectively on it, especially in this last kind of bull run. And I think we're going to see the creators start to make money soon.
Yes, let's go.
What's your favorite NFT collection?
The Utopians, man.
Really?
Besides the Utopians.
Second. What's your second?
Second favorite.
What is another company you see making it big in the space and actually being innovative and changing shit?
Look, I think CryptoPunks are probably the ultimate blue chip NFT in my opinion, and I think what's really exciting about them is they don't have to do anything.
Yeah. So I bet ever since going with AfterParty and all the growth in your career and AfterParties in the company, I bet your life has changed, in the lifestyle and the community, people you're around. I just saw you go to, I don't know where it was, out of the country with a whole bunch of people. It was a vacation. Was it a business trip, vacation?
That was the first vacation I've taken in a while.
Where'd you guys go?
We went to Europe. So I went with Seed Phrase, Danny.
Oh yeah. Oh, Ibiza.
Yeah, we went to Ibiza. We went to.
You partied over there. You know that song, I Took a Pill in Ibiza?
Ibiza's crazy, man. That's an interesting spot. It's really fun. The water's insane.
So has it been just dramatic? Like,
it's been a pretty big change. I mean, if I'm being honest with you,
because when you step back and you're like, whoa,
because you started from like your friend's couch.
You started like legit on your friend's couch, and now like you're able to, you know, have all these resources, have all these great friendships around you and people that support you, and be a part of this dope ass company that's changing the industry in Web3.
Yeah, I mean, I think from day one, it's a complete 180, right? Like from where I was to where I'm at now. I feel so lucky, so blessed to be where I'm at the current moment. I mean, I get to meet really interesting and exciting people.
Who's the most interesting person that you met and you were like, holy shit?
Man, you know who I met recently, who I have a ton of respect for and I really like a lot, is Jaden Hostler.
Really?
Yeah, he's awesome. He's an up and coming artist.
His music is him and Nessa. I love their music.
Yeah, he's just like he's been a supporter of ours from day one.
Yeah,
he's been coming in before we were doing anything. Like he was there on night one and just like took a chance on us and has been vocal about, you know, what we're doing, and he's just a super nice guy. So I really like him a lot. And then, you know, Sia's been really cool. She's been supporting us, which is really interesting and exciting for me. But man, there's a ton of people. Cordell, you know, Brodus is another really great guy. I was just with him in Singapore. He's launching a fund and doing some really cool stuff.
So like because a lot of people, you know, that don't know these, you know, high end, you know, individuals, quote unquote, that everybody knows in the industry, you know, their perspective is, I was just having a conversation with my friend the other day, and, you know, not everyone wants everyone to win, and it doesn't matter if someone's at the top, and, you know, a lot of people have ego in this industry, and they just want them to be here and make sure that they're not, the people that are, you know, wanting to learn and wanting to get help, you know, they're making sure that they're not going to be the ones to provide that information. And so like you being around all these you know, individuals that are also building and creating a huge impact, what are their habits like? What do they stand for? Like, are they genuine, like down to earth, like, you know, what are they like
Wag Me, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think most of them are, man. Like, I think we built a really good community, and I want everybody to win. I mean, we're literally building tools for people to win. Like, that's the whole idea. The more you win, the more excited I am about it, and I think there's a really incredible community within AfterParty specifically. And dude, like everybody that comes in there is so nice and so friendly. And I don't know if it's just to me and they're terrible people outside of that, but I think we built a really cool community. And you're right, not, you know, everybody doesn't want everybody to win, but you know, I want everybody to win. I want everyone to win. I mean, it's better that way. You know, you get to share in those wins alongside of them, especially.
I think it's just like loss of energy. If you're just trying to be envy and jealous of someone, you know, that is doing something dope.
It's a very limited mindset, right? And in Web3, it's abundance mindset, because we are here. It's a blank canvas. There's so much to build. And
I think everyone, you know, that's sitting right here, we're all open-minded. We're all like-minded. We're here for a reason.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're early in the space, right, like you're either really, really smart, really crazy, or just like, you know, like, dude, like you look back in the early Bitcoin days, the guys that were mining Bitcoin in 2010, 2011, whatever it was, were like deep cryptographers.
Yeah,
I mean, like when you're early to a space, or when you're early to you know, kind of a new momentum shift, I think you either are, you know, you have a vision or you're really passionate about it. And, you know, it's really cool to have all these people in the community like you guys and others that are excited about it and pushing it forward. So I'm really excited about kind of the emergence of new products built kind of around, you know, music NFTs or music technology as a whole. I think artists, you know, musicians create beautiful art that we listen to and impacts our lives every single day.
Absolutely.
And I think they should be, you know, compensated accordingly.
Last regards, where is AfterParty going? Where do you see the company in 5 years?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just really focused on the now, right? Like we're excited about rolling out these tools. We're excited about working with a lot of the people in our community to, you know, talk about these tools and show that there are other ways to connect and monetize outside of the traditional, you know, build my audience on Instagram and wish for the best. So really focused on that in the next couple months. We have some cool partnerships, you know, Art of the Wild and things that we're going to be doing on the event side and membership side. The next 12 months is going to be insane. Like we're doing so many cool things. Art Basel, we're doing some really cool stuff at. So yeah, dude, just really focused on the now and trying to get this stuff right. And in 5 years, we'll see.
What's a quote you stand by?
What's a quote I stand by?
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know. I just like being present, live in the now.
I think your Twitter account is really great. I mean, for those who are listening, definitely follow Robert on Twitter, because some of the stuff that he says, it's simple but deep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you get your tweets from? Do you just like think of them like off the top of your head, or do you just like you plan these tweets? How do you do it?
I go in spurts. So I'll go crazy on Twitter one day and tweet like 10 times.
Tweet.
There'll be a few days where I go silent. It's just kind of whenever it comes.
Does it just come naturally to you?
Yeah. I mean, most of it does. I will say I do post a lot on Diamond, which is a Web3 version of Twitter. And my engagement is 10 times higher. I have like 4,600 followers there. I was showing you this the other night. And you can monetize on it.
Didn't you say something like you only have 4,500 followers there, but your engagement is 10 times more than
10
Twitter?
10 times more.
Because you're more engaging with your community.
With that community, and they're all interested in kind of the space. But like they also have features built in where you can tip. Right?
Yeah, it's not so like they said on this like on the app that it's not likes, it's diamonds, and so like you're giving diamonds to people's pictures.
Yeah, and it's completely on chain. It's literally the one that I know of that's built for storage on chain.
By the way, everyone that wants to go check it out is diamondapp.com.
It's diamondapp.com. Yeah. I think it's used Diamond on Twitter, but it's really cool, man. If you're looking to build an audience, if you're an individual or a brand and you're looking to build an audience, and I highly recommend not going to Twitter or Instagram, maybe TikTok still, to try to grow your audience. Specifically though, if you're trying to build audience on Twitter, I would definitely look at Web3 alternatives.
So you're all for decentralized, social media.
Well, think about it, man. Like I have 4,600 followers on Diamond right now. And the beautiful part about this is that those followers are going to go with me wherever I go on that blockchain. So if there's an Instagram application that is built there, or a TikTok application, all I need to do is download that application, and the followers that I have that also have that application are automatically following me. There's no algorithms, there's no ad revenue model. So the individuals are seeing all of your content, and you don't have to start over every single time. Like if TikTok shuts down tomorrow.
So I was talking about when Warren was on the podcast, he said that TikTok should be shut down.
A lot of people feel that way. And
do you think that TikTok should be shut down?
I mean, I think it's really interesting, right? Like I haven't taken a deep dive into it, but if what I'm reading is true, and they're, farming all of our data, and they're able to kind of like utilize that data to do certain things, I don't know if that's great for us as a society or as a whole. So I don't know. I don't have a ton of comments there, because a lot of my friends that are on TikTok have made meaningful livings, and it's completely changed their lives.
Yeah, I was just telling Warren how like when they were about to ban TikTok, how like, because when I was in Clubhouse, everyone was just like, holy shit, my life's about to end. Like we all have to move back home, all this other shit.
Yeah. So I don't know. I like social media. I think there's a lot of great, and positive things that come from it. I also think there's a lot of negative things that come from it, but that's with anything.
Can you go back? You were explaining to us like the difference of, like how social media works versus
TikTok. To your point, TikTok shuts down tomorrow. Everybody in Clubhouse is like, I'm fucked. I gotta go home and get a job as a waiter. On a decentralized social protocol, I build up 8 million followers on that TikTok application that's on that protocol. And that transitions wherever I go. So as more and more applications, as more and more opportunities pop up on that protocol specifically, and ideally it'll be cross-chain soon, those followers go wherever you're at. So if TikTok dies tomorrow, you have to go to whatever new platform is emerging and start over. Like, hey, follow me. On a decentralized protocol, if it just starts to lose, if people start to lose interest in it and they move over to something else, all of the people that you've accumulated and that are following you on that platform or on that application are going to move with you. So you essentially never have to start over. And that's why I think
that's like powerful. That's super powerful.
And there's no company who can take that away from you. That's the power of decentralization.
They can't take it away from you. And at the current moment, there's no ad revenue model. There's no algorithms that are built in. So the people that are following you get to see the content that you're pushing out. And if they don't want to, they just unfollow you, right? Like There's monetization opportunities. There's micro tipping. You can buy people social tokens. There's all these crazy features that people just don't realize that they can utilize yet, but they will. Yeah.
I really see Web3 as an opportunity where you can monetize on your uniqueness.
You can. I mean, those are, I mean, that's like NFTs and social tokens, right? Like social tokens, you can monetize on your uniqueness. You can monetize on you as an individual.
Could you explain to our audience what social tokens are?
Yeah, social tokens are really just digital ownership. Like I can launch a social token, which I did on Diamond. And if I start adding value back to my fan base, right? Like if I start doing a live stream for my fans once a week and it's token gated and the top 100 people that own my social token get to participate in that, and I'm providing a ton of value, right? They might opt into my social token early for $5.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later, it starts to increase over time because I'm adding a ton of value and a lot more people want to be involved in this club. So the beautiful part about this is you have this digital ownership of an experience, an individual, whatever it might be, and you can trade and transact that ownership. So if I get all the value out of my membership club or your membership club after 9 months, and I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna sell this. I'm gonna just kind of move on. Maybe you sell it and make a profit. Maybe the person that buys it is really excited about being in that membership club. And then also the individual whose token it is earns in perpetuity as well because they have a built-in founder reward or whatever you wanna call it that they get every single time that token transacts. So not to sound complicated, it's literally just digital ownership of something and you're able to move it, seamlessly whenever you want.
Nice.
So
awesome.
Well, thank you for all this. It's been a blast.
Yeah,
Shoot.
it's so much fun.
Damn. I appreciate you coming on and spreading your knowledge about what you're doing and then I'm glad I got to know more about you.
Yeah, man. Sam, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, of course.
Decentralized social, baby.
Yes, guys, go check it out for real. This is where the future's going.
AfterParty.
Yes, sir. Guys, go check out AfterParty. Go check out what he's doing. Every single thing that, AfterParty is doing is to better the community, create culture, and shift and onboard people Web 2 to Web 3. And I think it's very, very interesting. So I'm proud of you guys. Congratulations. And with that being said, Mango out.
Geummy out.
See you guys. Robert out.
Peace.